All I really want is to be greedy, to find a plate that's mine. I can finally eat. Just started off with a little laugh, y'all. How y'all doing? It's your boy Robin, and I'm back with a good Sunday comfort meal. Listen, it's raining in Buffalo, and I don't know about y'all, but when it's raining, I want to put on my good socks, my PJs, have me a nice little meal, and just watch some TV. Let the week's stress fall off of you. You feel what I'm saying? So right here, I started with 2 pounds of ground beef, y'all. I went in with some peppers and some onions and also those seasonings that was lined up in the beginning. Tossed in some breadcrumbs, and I went in with an egg. Okay, then I decided to start molding them down the way that I wanted my Salisbury steaks to look. Once they were molded, I went ahead and tossed them in some flour, and I put it in a skillet to fry. I tossed them in flour so they can start the foundation for my gravy while they're cooking. You get that flavor, and you start getting that flour already mixed in your grease. And you can just start adding your ingredients and use it basically as a base for your grease, okay? So right now, I'm just tossing in those steaks, and I do a hole in the middle of them. One of my chefs that inspired me and taught me how to do that, just so you could, when it pops out, and then you know that it's brown the correct way on the one side. Okay, went ahead and removed those from the grease, and I added peppers, onions, and mushrooms, and just sauteed those down a little bit. Let those veggies sweat. Y'all know, sweat, 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 sweat. Okay, and then once I got them to that desired cooking level, I went ahead and tossed in some seasonings, okay? After that, and they caramelize just to that right brown color that you want, go ahead and toss you in a little bit of flour and then some beef broth and let that simmer for a little bit, okay? So you're just building and building and building this gravy, okay? So once it got to a nice rolling bubble, I went ahead and added me a cornstarch slur so it could thicken up. And then I know some of y'all might blink twice at this, but I went in and added some sour cream. Trust me, if you haven't tried it before, it's gonna set that gravy off, okay? After it got to a nice rolling boil again, tossed in a couple of seasonings, and then I added those Salisbury steaks back to the gravy, and I let them simmer on low for about another 20 minutes until they were nice and, moist, giving you that flavor, okay? Right here, this is the whole meal with some green beans, some cornbread, those Salisbury steaks, and some cheddar mash. And for dessert, I decided to do a apple cheesecake. So right now, you just see me peeling all of the apples, getting them ready to be cut up. And shout out to my sister-in-law Sarah, because she gave me this apple slicer that I'm going to be using in the next slide, and it cores it, cuts them into the nice pieces that you need, and I love it. I use it every time I gotta cut up an apple. Okay, so once I got these all peeled and cored, I went ahead and sliced some of them into slices for the topping of the cheesecake, and then I diced the rest of them because I mixed it in with the cheesecake filling, okay? So we just going through, sliding through, and showing you about the desired slice that it should be. You should be making sure that they're thin slices because you don't want to bite into the thick apples. It'll take away from the texture of the cheesecake, okay? And right here is where I separated them. You have the diced bowl of apples and the sliced bowl of apples. And so I went ahead and caramelized them separately, and added those diced ones right to I used 4 blocks of cream cheese, and I used a cup of granulated sugar, a cup of powdered sugar, some vanilla extract, and mix that together with those apples, okay? Right here, I'm just forming the crust, and I'm gonna put it into the oven so it can preheat. And then I added my eggs once I tasted my filling to make sure that it was good, so you can get that smooth consistency that you need. You don't want no lumps in it. These are the sliced apples. Once they were done cooking, I layered the bottom of the pan with those, and then I went in with the cheesecake filling, and I let that cook and brown for a little bit, and then I added the rest of the apples at the top. And this is what it looked like when it was finished. I'm telling y'all, this was good. Nice comfort meal, nice comfort dessert, okay? And this is the plating once it was done. The green bean Salisbury steak with the cheddar mash and cornbread, and just another few shots of the cheesecake, just so you guys can get into it and see how my Sunday meal was, okay? As always, like, comment, share, get with your boy, follow, subscribe, tell somebody, tell a friend that you like what you saw. And if you tried the recipe, as always, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think I could add or take away, and if you liked it. All right, peace.